Hey everybody, we're back with more Skies of Arcadia Legends. Let's get going. Hey Nicole, how you doing? So we took care of some side stuff, we've done all the discoveries that I think we can find. I need to remember I want the list of treasures open. We are heading to Ixa'taka next. There we go, there are 4 treasures there. You doing good? I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you're doing okay, Queen. So we've taken care of everything we can at the minute, except we haven't done the bounty fight with Rupee with the lasso clan, which we're not going to do for a while because that fight will rip us apart. And it's just an exercise in tedium trying to win it at this point, so we're going to head to Ixa'taka across the South Ocean. Which is not a fun journey, honestly. I would argue it's the least fun thing in the game. Here we go. What we need to do is head back to Moramba. There's Moramba. Over there. And now we just head due south. Take a look at the map. We're going to head down around here. And aim to be around here-ish? Here. Or here. I think around here, yeah. So we're going to go all the way across the South Ocean. Rock and roll. Oh, that reminds me, I want the chart. For expediency's sake, we are up against blue. Everybody can do green then. Pull off an Alpha Storm. That should work. And while that's happening, I will do this. Nice. And there we go. And further on. So since we defeated Belazar and basically just took the engine of her ship, we can go through this path. So the real trouble here isn't even the whirlwinds. Tornadoes? The biggest trouble is the monsters that we'll find that cast the guaranteed instant death spell. And I don't remember which monsters that is. Might be one of these. Alright. Green and red. Green, red. So red we want to use purple. Green we want red. Or yellow. Go with red. I could do with boosting that a little bit. The sooner we get Incres, the better.
Over there.
I expected those guys to run. I was hoping that I'd hit both. Yeah, well, Drachma should finish it.
Here goes.
Wasn't expecting that, but it worked.
That was easy.
Okay, we just keep going. Find our way through. All we can really do. Keep pushing forward. She aims at that one, and she manages to get the attack off first. There we go. Hits all of them. Which hopefully will mean we take out 2 of them in this first turn. 3. I always appreciate a counter-attack. I never rely on a counter-attack, but I always appreciate it.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee that a counter-attack will happen. Nice. Everybody go. Although, if I try to open with Cutlass Fury
That was easy.
on the Lupulon, but the issue is the Lupulon may go first before Vice, which means that's a wasted Cutlass Fury. Nothing there. So, I've mentioned previously the Loopers. The Loopers are basically like Metal Slimes from Dragon Quest. They're prone to running, they're difficult to hit. But if you can take one down, you'll get a bunch of experience for it. And Skies of Arcadia has several varieties of them. And none of them ran. Now I just need Vice to take his turn. Ica's Alpha Storm will never hit a Looper or any of his variants. But Vice's Rain of Swords will. The unfortunate thing is, by the time Vice did it, every looper had taken its turn and only one of them hadn't run away. We'll be better off later on. God damn. Better off later on when we can start a battle with 14 SP. And with that, we can just go straight into hitting Rain of Swords. And at that point, we can start hunting loopers. Basically the best way to grind.
Over there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Circle back round to red again. And let it rip. A-okay. How dare you? We've gotten lucky so far. We've not run across any of the enemies that will cast a
We
turn.
did it.
Or if we have, they just haven't been casting a turn. Watching Chansum do this recently in his Skies of Arcadia Legends playthrough, and he didn't have as much trouble getting through the South Ocean as I did. I think I just got really unlucky that one time. There is one good thing to a back attack or an ambush, and that is that when we get our turn, we have 2 sets of SP build-up. So we're going to start this with 14 SP, just that they get their turn first. You see? So just do that. Unfortunate that all of the Lupalons ran away, and all we're left with is 2 dudes.
That was easy.
Anyway. Pyram. How is everybody doing for red magic? That's all 3 fire spells, I think. Increm, then Increz. Possibly another fire spell. Ica is working on it. Right. Sacrez, Sacrez, Sacrez. With everybody working on silver as well. What is silver good for? If you're attacking with silver, it is only good against yellow. And only a bit. Otherwise, it's just basically standard. I guess we'll leave silver for a bit. The next dungeon could reasonably have a bunch of yellow enemies, but I'm not sure if it will. Just have to see how that goes. Nice. Now we're going to follow this up with a rain of swords. Just to wipe them all out quickly. Brings up a point, actually. Chams.
Over there.
Very good. Interesting. Let me duplicate this page. Keeping an eye on Chams isn't a bad idea. It'll make Fina more useful. What's happening? Something I should have been doing, actually. If you're unaware, Chams are basically the food for Fina's weapon there, the thing floating around her. And the more you feed to it, the stronger it becomes. You're probably going to find enough as you go through the game to make Fina worthwhile. She is one of your main prime members anyway, so you want her to be able to do stuff. But you're never really going to rely on her for attacking anyway. Fina's big contribution is the White Mage. But being able to just do more with a single attack is always worth it. Here's hoping one of them will hit it. Come on, Aika. Yeah. Damn it. Yeah, that one must have been defending. Drachma will finish it off.
Is it over already?
That's what I had said. I realised I was muted. But in reality, I could took care of it, which is nice. Makes sense, she has a higher speed than Drachma. Or quick, as they call it in this game. How far are we? No, we're making progress. Almost there, actually. No, we're still getting pulled. A little more and we're past South Ocean then. And we haven't run into any of those enemies. I guess I was just really unlucky last time. That's a green one.
Here goes.
I say blooper. Nice. Get him back. Nice. Cool. You'll probably think it's kind of excessive to use Rain of Swords like that, but this strategy ends the fight in 2 turns, which... yeah, that's a good number. It's a good number to aim for. There we go, we're almost through. Starting to get the leaves on the wind, we're almost there.
Here goes! Over there!
Nice. Cool, cool. Alright.
Back off!
The storm.
Yeah!
Alright. And that's Pyram for Athena. See, there's land. We're almost there. We'll be there soon. Hey, Santa. How you doing, buddy? It's not Blooper, it's E-Looper. Blooper.
Here goes!
Ah, you're out of work, eh? Early for you to be out of work, isn't it? You gotta let go early. Hit him. Jeez, really got. Fair enough. Well, we're gonna be here for a couple of hours, so hopefully we'll keep you company on your way home. How you doing, Lena? How'd your Wind Waker stream go? I was lurking through it, but I wasn't really in a position to chat. Nice.
Thank the moons.
I'm not entirely sure I can do a Clint Eastwood voice. There we go. Yeah, one of the biggest problems with original Wind Waker, and one of the main reasons why Wind Waker HD cutting down how many charts you have to decipher instead of just giving you the Triforce in the places where you would find some of the charts, is you can have a full wallet, the biggest wallet, you can have it full, and that's not enough money to decipher all the charts. That's a big part of the reason why people hate Single. Ixa'taka. Most people on this world do not even know that a continent exists across the South Ocean. The discovery of this lush, rich continent with a long history has demonstrated the possibility that even more unknown, undiscovered lands may await. Yeah, it's frustrating that he does that for 8 charts. I think it's 397 rupees for 8 charts. And again, it's another case of padding for Wind Waker to try and cover its cut content. Yeah, right, let's do this. If I was half as ugly as you, Sergeant Major, I'd be a poster boy for a overnight. Less lands, huh? Thank you. All kinds of delicious things to eat. Anyway.
Hey!
There we go. As soon as we see it. Let's see, there are 4 chests in Ixa'taka, and there is a cham there as well. Oh, the Loon Warship. I don't think we see those yet. Alright, this should be the 3rd of the non-story ship battles that we need to do. See how well this goes. Gotta watch out for those magic cannons. This one's going to take a beating. And I just remembered we actually have a ship boss battle coming up. So focus on focus. God. I want the heavy cannon firing here. I want the focus here. We'll do a Sakura though. Hey TK, how you doing, dude? since you're saying it's a pain in the ass, I'm guessing you've got some sort of solution set up. And if push comes to shove, you can always play it through Dolphin. Open fire. And they're not going to survive that, but just throw more there. And then just in case, because they're not going to survive. Yeah. I originally played it on GameCube. I debated doing the GameCube version for like nostalgia's sake at some point. Just back in the day ago. I look forward to seeing it. So I've got Beyond Good and Evil HD on Xbox One. It's backwards compatible. I've played it on PS3, and it's probably the best HD version Ubisoft put out of any of their games. Considering the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time trilogy and the Splinter Cell trilogy were all terrible on the HD versions. Capturing the monitor? That's fair enough. But yeah, I considered doing the GameCube version, but the GameCube version is entirely letterboxed for some reason. Very much like RE4. Like, if you play the GameCube version of RE4, it's letterboxed. The entire game for some reason. So if I do get around to Beyond Good and Evil myself, I'll probably just do Beyond Good and Evil HD. I don't remember anything else beyond that. Like Beyond Good and Evil and RE4 only on GameCube. Every other version of RE4 isn't letterboxed. The letterboxing thing is particularly interesting when you remember that it was Shinji Mikami who directed it, and one of his later games, The Evil Within, also was letterboxed for some reason. There's it turning, the son of a bitch. So it was these enemies, you just got unlucky with them not casting Eternum. That's the guaranteed instant kill spell, and they could have been casting it this entire time. And I've got nothing here. I can try and have Fina bring him back, that's only got a chance of working.
Move! Give me strength!
Yeah, the Evil... Oh, that's good. The Evil Within was also letterboxed for some reason, and they had big... the outcry against it was big enough that they patched in the option to make it full screen. Because it was fucking dumb. Well, at least Vice survived that. Which direction is Ixa'taka? Alright, it's this way. Okay. There's the green moon. There it is. Ixa'taka. 4 chests to find here, and 1 Chan. Right, that should be something that I won't miss. Jams aren't required for Vice the Legend, thankfully. Well, Aika's not wearing white. Okay, so there are 4 chests to find in Ixa'taka. The issue with Ixa'taka is that it's just kind of a pain to navigate. So talking to these people is basically pointless right now. They're not going to talk to us yet. Probably like now. So yeah, Ixa'taka is basically a bunch of climbing up and down and going across, what did it say, like cable car, kind of? Like platforms that take you to other areas. Like that's getting around Ixa'taka and it's kind of tedious, honestly. That reminds me, I want to look at the moonfish last. Moonfish. Okay. There are 2 moonfish in Ixa'taka. Alright. Moonfish, thankfully, I don't think are missable. I could be wrong. It'll depend on the location of some of them. Depend if any of them are in locations we can't get back to. Yeah, there's 1. Sakri box. Need a Paranta seed, a moonberry, and 25 Sakri crystals. God damn. Two moonfish and a champ. There you are, god damn. That was more of a pain than it should have been. Here we go. Alright, back where we started. So we got a treasure chest and a moonfish out of that. Since we're going for Vice Legend, treasure chest and chams are required. Moonfish are not. No. Treasure chest and moonfish are required, chams are not. What is that? Chams are just something I want for battle. Hello. Alright. Yeah, we want chams for battle. I also haven't saved since I got here. Okay, so this way. The weapons shop, which I don't think will sell us anything yet. Two. Moonberry. Who can we give another ability to then? That's not bad, I remember that. And a full cure for everybody. Later that will be useful, right now we're not so sure. I don't think that was ever useful. And what about Drachma? So we're going to give it to Ica. Lambda Burst. Which is a pretty good attack and hits everything on screen. And costs less than Rain of Swords. So, yeah, pretty useful. There we go, champ. Is that enough to push Cupil to the next stage? It is, Cupil Cone. Cupil is now better. Better than he was before. Hello. I'm Batman. Hello. Yep. Okay. Across South Ocean. Sentai, you say? that was friendly. You know, in return, let's go free the father. One good deed deserves another. There we go. 25 Sakura crystals. And there's one more, the Piranha seed. There is still that other section that I haven't gone to in Ixa'taka. The mines, you say? That kid's got a face like the Happy Mask salesman. Let's go free Sensan. For 3 reasons. 1, to repay harms. 2, because fuck the Valuans. And 3, because it's just a nice thing to do. Yeah. Okay, and check this area. This tent is empty. The tent is a hut. That will probably take us back to where we came. Was anybody looking for jiggle physics? Thanks, Sega. I'm glad somebody enjoyed it. Yes, I would appreciate a room for the night, actually. Let me see, moonfish. Okay, yeah, no. The next moonfish is actually real close to where I am. I don't know who says that to you, and I feel like you've been lied to. Apparently. I don't know who that is, but I feel like he's lying to you. Fair enough. Ron White. Yeah, in that case, I'll keep an eye out for maybe stand up then. Take it as a recommendation, Teague. Thank you. Valua. Valua, they're here too? Oh yeah, we fought one of them. It really just makes Valua incredibly obviously evil. It's like, yeah, no. We're people from the East. Oh, you're going to help us willingly? How kind of you. Get in the mines. I wonder if it hurts your eyebrows to have things dangling from them.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Teak. There. So we want to go up here. One of the moonfish, the other moonfish is up here. I'm assuming the treasure will be up here that we're after. Anyway. There it is. Aranta seed. Yeah, definitely give it to Ica. There it is. Ixa'taka? Yeah, sure, show me. Golden Man to the north. That sounds like a discovery. There we go. That is 2 moonfish for when we return to Sailor's Island. Which will actually be quite a while. We're not going to get back there for a long time now. Not this stream. I expect not next session either. I wonder how Chansom's doing on this. I've seen him stream it for a while. But that should be Ixa'taka done. Next up, Moonstone Mountain. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 chests. 2 chams, and 1 moonfish. Also worth, since everybody seems to be talking to us now, checking out the weapons merchant. See what they have for us. What do you got? Hunter sword, thank you. Once an arc, thank you. $16 to defense, 8 to magic, 13 and 11. Yeah, minus overalls. They're better for magic, not better for regular defense. Done it again. Pressed the wrong direction and bought too many again. Okay. Dodge and defense, not bad. Yeah, especially for the magic defense boost, definitely get one of these for Ica. Alright. Yes, yes there is. Risen crystals. Nah, 20 will do. $12 of those. Sacrum crystals, definitely useful. 10 of these. Sacrum just because it heals multiple people. Alright, and we're gonna go head north. Also worth remembering that Ixa'taka said that there is a golden man to the north, and that sounds like a discovery. Excuse me. Not actually necessary. It might be. But before then, we have something to do. That's the smell of fire. And our introduction to the 4th Admiral. No, the 5th Admiral. Bella's is 4th. We saw Deloco previously at the briefing of the Admirals, and now we're going to actually meet him. Deloco. generally they don't really bring up the concern of fire for the wooden bow. You do bring up a fair point though, too. Pirates. Well done. Here we go. So this fight actually introduces, he doesn't outright tell you how to deal with the flame cannon, but it introduces the concept of manipulating the situation to your advantage without just being given a choice. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I want focus here, I want firepower there. I want to be able to do whatever I need to in the next turn. It's also worth noting that Bella's ship was fairly small and light. Probably fitting Bella's personality more than anything, her focus on subterfuge. DeLoco's is different. As a consequence, though, his ship isn't as fast as Bella's is. Quicker to begin with. Fire there. No. Torpedo landing there. One heavy cannon there, and one guard there. Shovel guard. Okay. So the main focus here is trying not to get hit by the flame cannon. Wrapping it. So what we're going to do is smart. 2 rounds. Go. Open with the harpoon cannon. I want to guard here and here, and throw a shot out there. Let's see how we go. It's good, it's good. One more of those and we're good. Charging up for that flame cannon shot though. He's tailing us now. I'm sure the trick with this one is to cast speed. Maybe I'm thinking of a different fight. There you go. So of course the immediate concern is heal. Guard there, and I want to focus. Focus again in preparation for ending next turn. Then we will see how things end. Torpedo incoming. Alright. I want a harpoon there, I want a torpedo shot over there. Heavy cannon there, and then I want the guard there just in case. Rock and roll.
Harpoon cannon, fire!
I was expecting to survive that. There's a possibility he'll survive this next barrage. No, I didn't. Awesome. I said this during Chansom's stream when Chansom did this. But like, yeah, no, let's stop the dude from setting the forest on fire by destroying his ship and sending the flaming wreckage down into the forest. That's right, sputter away. Anyway, onward. We found the king's hideout. Yeah, that's me. That was also me. He says that, but even once we deal with this whole area and get rid of the balloons, he'll never leave this place. Like, he doesn't go anywhere else to where he's supposed to be as the king. And you might think that's typical JRPG stuff, where nothing really ever changes, but once we rescue Sentime, after a certain point in the story, Sentime's ship will leave this area. That chest we got from his ship is actually permanently missable. So it's just weird that the king never leaves this place to go back to where he's supposed to be. Rixus. Okay, but where is he? Of course. Let's go do a dungeon. To be fair, breaking into this balloon stronghold will probably be easier than breaking out of the Grand Fortress. Anyway. There we go, champ. And use the charm. Go. Let's go. Do it. Moonstone Mountain. Okay. Let's go save the day again, since that's what we do. What we do. Wait a minute. There we go. Ixa'taka Palace. This stone palace was once the site of ceremonies based on the ancient lunar calendar built during the reign of the Moon Kings. This place flourished as the centre of Ixa'takan civilization for ages, but was destroyed several years ago by the Valuans. It's interesting, I was not aware the Valuans had been here for that long. I thought that was a more recent thing. But it adds up with some of the other evidence that we see, like the big iron net that they've set up. Okay, what else do you got? Island of Punishment. Check any island that people seem to avoid, that's not actually helpful. Punctual rock. In a place where the winds are really strong, there's something strange spinning around. That'll be the South Ocean. Gordo the Ram. An air pirate that only attacks ships carrying food cargo in the North Ocean area. He's taking a liking to the spice trade between Valua. Valua isn't capitalized there, and it should be. And Ixa'taka. Learning from his chefs, he uses fire to not only cook his meals, but his opponents as well. 4,000 gold for dealing with him. Let me see. G-type. Cannon. 5-inch cannon. Shock torpedo. Let me get one of these. Replace the light torpedo with it. Put that there. Heavy cannon. Yeah, let's get another one of those and replace the 3-inch blaster. That should be all good then. Domingo. Alright, let's head to Moonstone Mountain. South of Ixa'taka, which is there. Ixa'taka village. A tribe of women that lives on a small island in Ixa'taka. They are skilled and fearsome warriors. They raid nearby villages twice a year to kidnap men. Numbers of men in nearby tribes have been reduced to almost nothing. Kinda like the Gerudo in Zelda. Still all green? All green. Let's show off Lambda Burst. I don't think Lambda Burst will hit the loopers either. But it'd be good to get confirmation on that. No, I still didn't do it against loopers. I didn't think it would. There was a reason that I would use Rain of Swords for grinding loopers on Looper Island. If I'd known Vice was going to go first, I would have used Cutlass Fury. Oh well.
We did it!
Yeah. Alright, and that is Pyram for Micah. Alright, there is Moonstone Mountain. Chance have had a hell of a time finding this, and I don't remember why. Okay, 10 chests. Was it 1 cham? 2 chams. 1 moonfish. Let me check the moonfish list again. Temple of Piran, Temple of Piran. Yeah, I did get both. I remember I got 2 in Temple of Piran. to go back and get that. I can't believe that I thought for years that the Vluans attacking Ixa'taka was a recent thing. When you basically... it couldn't be, and we see the discovery with the Ixa'takan Palace that... no, they attacked years ago. It was probably nothing. Silent alarm activated. Silent alarm activated. And of course, Alfonso was assigned to Ixa'taka for his lying, failure, and incompetence during our first encounter with him. Yeah, meanwhile, nobody else really understands why an idiot like that is given a position of such authority as Admiral in the fleet. That's a stock alarm sound effect. Ah, somebody just stepped on the alarm. Let me see, let me just check on the switch itself right next to my desk. That's a weird setup. We'll never leave these mines alive. Well, nothing else to do but keep going forward. Okay, there's a champ somewhere. Not that way then. There we go, Cham. So, the question is everything here yellow or green? Blue and green. If we have I could do Landerburst.
Fire consume my enemies!
Let's see how this goes. Honestly, better than I was expecting. Oh well.
Serves them right.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to get more green magic anyway. We've got Sakura and Sakras. The sooner we gain access to Sakram, the better. Sakura is 500 HP restored to one character. Sacrifice is 1,000 to one character. Sacrum is 1,000 to the entire party. And then beyond that, we also have the I'm sure there's a full heal spell. Pretty sure of that. And then I don't think the special moves can miss.
That was easy.
That's nice. Like when Ica does Alpha Storm on Lambda Burst and the Loopers don't take damage. It's not that they don't get hit, they just don't take damage. It's nice that they tell you how to deal with the traps entirely. That one piece of advice is the only piece of advice you need, and I'll show off exactly what the point of it is. We found one charm, but we haven't found any chest yet.
Fire consume my enemies! Lambda burst!
And the burst is cool.
That was easy.
Alright. And onwards. Nothing there. X marks the spot. And the burst. There we go, open with it and we're good. Really appreciate if we can go to battle with a fairly large number of enemies like that and have it be over so fast. Really appreciate that. I guess there's no going back. Okay, so yeah, as was said, look below. If there's a minecart, then it's a trap. If there's a minecart below, then it's a trap, and the whole thing is basically just, yeah, no, you're gonna fall into the minecart, and the minecart will take you back to where that dude was that we spoke to. Uh-oh. The hell? Okay, so it's turned off. That's awkward. I have to see what's wrong with that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm not sure what happened. Turned it back on, got a weird visual display. The colour was all off. It's working again now, but I have no idea why it turned off. The unfortunate thing is the last save point was outside Moonstone Mountain. So we have to do that again. So, you know, that's good. Why is it on Saltus? If I was emulating this, like, it'd be great that I could just speed the whole thing up, but unfortunately I can't. So, just mash through. And let me see if there's any interesting video game stuff going on. Well, we just mash through this. Final Fantasy 14 patch 5.5 is dropping next month. The Microsoft price hike that was announced for Xbox Live Gold. I don't know if anybody saw that. They increased the price, and they increased it by quite a bit. And people weren't happy about it. And then Microsoft backtracked on it and said, you know what, no, we won't increase the price at all. And also, free-to-play games on Xbox, we're going to actually make them free now. Because the thing was, previously, a free-to-play game on Xbox... Xbox One, Xbox 360 doesn't really make any difference which. You would need an Xbox Live Gold account to play it. So they've changed that, so you know, that's nice. Okay. Anything else? The next James Bond movie has been delayed to October. If anybody cares about that. Alright. I'm not. Ica is out of commission for the minute. These are all blue. Rain of Swords. Anything else? Not seeing anything. We've discussed that in the past, too, and while we've disagreed on it, I think I would be more willing to accept it if we were allowed, if there was a way for us to buy some of those games separately. I don't want to continue paying subscription to have access to Super Nintendo games. I'd rather just be able to buy the ones that I have, buy the ones that I want. The pricing of online for PS4 and Xbox One, or PlayStation and Xbox at this point, that's new. They're all green.
Over there.
The pricing is kinda shit. Not really any good way around that. With Xbox, a lot of people... Yeah. With Xbox, a lot of people are thinking the whole idea of that was to try and convince people to get Game Pass Ultimate. It really becomes a question of, like, do you play multiplayer enough to justify it? And for me, the answer generally is no. Yeah, you shouldn't have to pay for that kind of shit. And let's be fair, the company to blame for that is Microsoft. Microsoft standardized that idea. Like, PlayStation 3 was like, yeah, no, play online. And Xbox 360 was like, no, pay for online. And it worked for them, and people defended that shit. I remember people being like, yeah, no, you gotta pay for Xbox 360 online, but you get a higher quality of service. And I couldn't really argue with that because I didn't have a 360, I didn't have an Xbox.
Here goes. Over there.
I think, consumer-wise, the best idea for Microsoft would be to remove paying for online and just have Game Pass. They're never going to do that because then how do they sell Game Pass Ultimate? But I think that would be the best thing for the consumer. Yeah, no, we'd definitely be on that point. We're at the point now where people are willingly paying for garbage. And again, that whole thing goes back to Nintendo. Nintendo, I think, is the best example of that. People are paying for shit. You want to play Smash Online? Pay for it. Oh, what's that? It's not worth the cost? Well, it's not our problem. Thanks, Nintendo.
That was easy.
I'd be happier if I could just buy Super Nintendo and whatever NES games I want separately, rather than having to go with a subscription. I said before, if it wasn't part of a family group subscription on Switch, I would not be subscribed. I would not be on it. That's a devious trap. There's a YouTube channel called Neryl, which I quite like. I found the channel when I watched his review of Majora's Mask 3D. And, like, is it a good remake? The answer is no. And he made that statement with a lot of ideas to back it up, and it was well presented. And so I followed him since then. And he put out a video a while back on the case for why emulation is necessary. And one of the most interesting points to consider about it was, like, okay, you want to pay for old NES, Super Nintendo games. Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. I prefer paying for stuff like that where I'm able to anyway. For example, if this game was re-released, I'd buy it again. damn right I'd buy it again. Nocturne HD Remaster is due out later this year in English. I'm probably going to buy it again. I already own that game 3 times. I'll buy it again. Meanwhile, is it yellow? What do I want? Silver. Meanwhile, let's take out the price, let's take out the subscription service, all of it, of the Switch Online stuff for the games. And what you get is basic bare-bones emulation with no option to remap controls, no visual options, nothing. You can't choose to stretch the display, you can't choose to display it with a CRT filter. You get it how you're given, and that's it. And the case for emulation was very interesting in that emulation shouldn't be shut down. Nintendo really shouldn't be trying to shut it down. And it's a hard thing to argue whether or not they have the right. Legally, as far as we know, they don't. But fan-made emulators provide competition, they provide a benchmark in the same way that PlayStation has to compete with Xbox. Because if they slip and Xbox does something better, why should anybody stick with PlayStation? Same idea. And so the question becomes, when you've got something like Keygan or BSNES or SNES 9X, all of which provide at their most basic functions better quality than the official product Nintendo is putting out, why should we be going for Nintendo's official product over something else? It's like, okay, so say I want to play Earthbound.
That was fun.
Morally, I would say I am in the right to pick up a ROM of Earthbound. If... Now bear in mind, I'm not saying legally, I'm saying morally. Yeah, that's good. If... I have purchased Earthbound in some way, or if Earthbound isn't available for purchase in any way. Now, as it stands, I do actually own Earthbound 3 times. I have it on Wii U, I have it on 3DS, and I have it on the Super Nintendo Mini. I think it's reasonable. I don't think I'm being unreasonable. So I own Earthbound. I've paid for Earthbound 3 times, and it's fair enough. And so morally, I would say I am completely justified in picking up a ROM and playing it on a better emulator than Nintendo provides. It becomes the case with a lot of things. And if we take out the idea of going back and buying old games that aren't available anymore on any kind of system With the exception of digital, like, as long as the Wii U eShop is still up... Is that okay? I want to pick up the Wind Waker HD.
Over there.
Alright, I think you're perfectly justified in that. I'm going to assume you own it. If you don't, honestly, I don't care. You justify your own morals. You don't have to justify them to me, justify them to yourself. I own Beyond Good and Evil 3... Fucking hell, I own a lot of things 3 times. I own Beyond Good and Evil 3 times. I own it on GameCube, I own it on PS3, and I own it on Xbox. Xbox 360. No, I own it 4 times, because I do actually have it on Uplay. Yeah. Welcome back, Sana. Where's my lambda burst? Right, Ica has become confused. Very tight. There we go, finally, Rain of Swords. Hey, Ninja.
Is it over already?
Yeah, not much, honestly. We're talking about justifications of emulation and how if Nintendo can't provide a better product than what you would get in a fan-made providing, then why should we care? I think we've moved past the value proposition of Xbox Live. We're back on Nintendo and emulation again. It's like, okay, Skies of Arcadia is a good example, I think. Not available on anything outside of Dreamcast or GameCube, and overpriced on both of those. Okay. So, if you want to play this fantastic game, Nintendo says you have to go out and buy a physical copy and a GameCube or a Wii. Why should that be? And my arguing is that there is a failing there in... My argument is that there's a failing there in service providers, but we keep it in more simple terms. Let's say Super Mario World, and let's not screw around the best of the Super Nintendo launch titles. So if you're going to turn around to me and say Pilot Wings, then I'm going to disagree with you, and that'll be the end of that. But anyway, Super Mario World. You can purchase it on Super Nintendo. Okay. But there are modern ways to buy it. You can pick it up on... You can't pick it up on the Wii, they shut down the Wii U eShop. You can get it on the new 3DS Virtual Console, you can get it on Wii U Virtual Console. Or you can get the Nintendo Switch subscription service. Which means you have to continue paying to play this Super Nintendo game. Alright. Now, also bear in mind that if you just download a copy of Super Mario World, whatever your justification for it is, just download a copy, you're getting actively a better experience. Because any of the fan-made emulators you're going to get for it will be better than Nintendo's garbage emulator that you can't do anything with. You see, there's the thing. I've kind of presented that in the wrong way. In the focusing on the subscription service, which is garbage. It's garbage, you have to continue to pay for it. But the point that I'm making is the service Nintendo provides is not as good as the quality fans provide. Honestly, the subscription service is fucking dumb. I think you should just be able to buy the games. If they had the subscription service and the option to buy the games, it wouldn't be so bad. But this is Nintendo, and you're going to play by their rules, and you're going to get the fuck out. And therein lies your problem. You say that, but it builds up. And there's also the overtime cost. It's like, okay, so 5 cents a day, sure. But what if it was one payment of $6? Chest there. But what if it was one payment of $6? My point, more than anything, is the option. The HD Seamless project brings up an interesting point. And it's not with Capcom, it's with Square. Because people did the same thing with that. That people did with the HD Seamless project. People did the same thing of that with Final Fantasy 7 and 9 on Steam. The AI upscaling technique to make the backgrounds look way better, to make the FMVs look way better. Meanwhile, Square's ports of 7 and 9 look really kind of garbage because of that. Yeah, they've cleaned up and sharpened the 3D models, but the backgrounds are very clearly still made for a 320 by 240 screen. Except now they're being displayed at 1080. And it's like, oh great. So it becomes really incongruous. You have these super clean character models on these really badly designed, these really badly upscaled backgrounds. You see, there's my point, T. What if you only want one game? What if you don't want the library? What if you just want one of the games? What if you only want 2? What if you only want 3? That's $6 a pop. What if the only game I wanted from the Switch Online service was Yoshi's Island? But we are getting off topic anyway, because the point was about the emulators. The emulation service Nintendo offers is a step back. It was better on Wii U. Because what did we have on Wii U? We had button remapping, and in a couple of cases we had screen options, video options. And as small a thing as that is, that was a big deal, because Nintendo hadn't offered that before. Like, specifically, they hadn't offered button remapping. They only offered it on the Wii. So here we are on Switch Online, and you're paying a subscription service for the most basic emulation. And at this point, the point isn't the subscription service, it's the basic emulation.
Fire consume my enemies! Let them burst!
What do you mean by that, Teak? How am I ignoring that? With the purchase? Because if you're gonna say that, if you're gonna say that by saying you should be able to purchase your games, I'm ignoring that, then I would argue the entire goddamn games industry. Because if you're gonna argue that in return, then by your logic, the only thing we should really consider doing is Xbox Game Pass. Because if you're arguing the way I think you're arguing, then why buy anything when the system itself will be obsolete soon? I might. See, you're talking to a room full of people who still have their old systems. I still have my PS2, because so many games on the PS2 have not been released on anything else. And you know what, I'll keep it until I'm old and grey. The answer is yes, there's no qualification for that. The answer is yes. But again, the point isn't the subscription service. The point isn't the subscription service, it's the emulation options that Nintendo offers. This is a fucking maze of platforms, and I just want to find all the chests. Yeah, I'm going there. Alright, the other side. Yeah, the point is the emulation they offer. They offer online play, yes, which is a system that is also available on plenty of emulators. Weren't we discussing at one point how... No, it wasn't you I was discussing it with, but there is the point where, hey, you want to play some old games? Multiplayer? Sure, but we're in different places, we're in different houses, we're in different streets, counties, towns, countries. Sure. Okay, so how about we boot up Project 64 then, and use the online function to play Mario Party 2 together? You can do that. I've been able to do it for years. You can do it on Project 64, you can do it on Dolphin. I don't know, T, why haven't we been doing that? Why aren't we all doing Mario Party streams on your channel? I say your channel because I can't, you know I can't stream from my computer. But yeah, you can do that, you've been able to do it for a while. At least one of the SNES emulators offers the same option. It's not an uncommon thing, and it's been around for a while. Nintendo is jumping onto a system, an idea that has been there for a while on fan-made stuff. And again, with the fan-made emulators, you also get so many other options on top of that. But no, if you want to play Mario Party 2, I'm down. Mario Party 2 is fucking hype. I'll play Mario Party 2 with you guys. Awesome.
We did it!
The compatibility in various emulators is honestly weirdly unbelievable. You should look into Dokapon Journey at some point, Ninja. But yeah, you can hook up Visual Boy Advance GBA emulator, you can hook that up to Dolphin, and hook that up to others through online play to play Four Swords Adventures or Crystal Chronicles multiplayer. Handmade emulators are doing basically everything.
That was easy.
It's a cool idea, and Nintendo's over there offering just the option to play how they say you should play. And that's it. And you're supposed to be thankful for that. What the fuck? What? I somehow didn't realise I was going backwards. But that's the point of the emulation thing, when... that wasn't me, that was Chanson. But you're right, it was pretty funny.
Over there.
No, the one I posted recently was, yeah, no, this is what Tall Vampire Lady from RE8 reminds me of. Anyway. My point really is, like, if you own these games in any format, I consider that a moral justification to basically allow yourself to just emulate it however you want. Regardless of what Nintendo says. And then you're ending up again with a better service than Nintendo provides. And, you know, that is today's argument on emulation.
Finish them off.
I have not been keeping track of how many chests I've opened. Yeah, the problem really isn't that Nintendo should... Like, Nintendo shouldn't be shutting these emulators, or should be trying to shut down emulation. Nintendo shouldn't be going on that emulation is illegal and you should only play through their sources. Because... emulation, as it currently stands, isn't illegal. Nintendo should look at it as competition and work to provide a better service. That really should be it. Nintendo should be working to provide an emulation experience worth paying for. You want to go the 100% as far as we know legal route of emulation? Alright, I want to play Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island on an emulator that will provide me better quality than anything Nintendo has put out. I'll just go and buy it in any format. Hell, I'll go and pick it up on Super Nintendo, dump it myself, and throw it onto Hegan or BSNES. And then immediately better than Nintendo's provided ever. I hate that. I hate Nintendo controlling scarcity of their own product. Artificial scarcity. It's bullshit and it's anti-consumer. Legally, it's their right. It's also bullshit. If you're going to argue that it isn't, then we have very different viewpoints. It's their product. Like I say, legally, within their right, it is also bullshit. Not arguing that they're allowed to do it, arguing that it's bullshit that they do it. Did I go down this one? No, I didn't. Artificial scarcity is always the most bullshit thing. There we go. Yeah, legally they can put out five amiibos. And then when they're gone, watch everybody clamor over trying to get one of them. I think amiibos are probably the best example of this. Legally they can do that, and there's nothing you can do to stop them. It's also incredibly bullshit. Like this whole thing of them putting out Super Mario 3D All-Stars until March. It's like, okay, you want to stop producing physical copies? Fine. What is it costing you to keep it on your store, though, versus what you'll gain through continued sales? You're right, T. It is their product. It's also bullshit anti-consumer practices. Moonberry. How do we get onto scarcity of the product? When specifically we're talking about quality of the product they were providing. We're in the Moonstone Mountains, the mines that that Valua has got people working in. No, what I'm going to do, Teak, is I'm going to not like it and only buy specific Nintendo products. And not continue to buy those Nintendo products that I already own. I'm not going to buy them again. It's like, okay. Nintendo puts out Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Cool, I already own it. I already own all of those games. I own Super Mario 64. 3 times? 5 if you count Super Mario 64 DS. Hey, Core Soldier. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours, but all we've done is cross South Ocean, fight Deloco, and now we're going through the Moonstone Mines. So ultimately, you haven't missed much going on. You've missed a bunch of the stream, you've not missed much actually happening. There's an interesting thing with emulation, Seek. Have you ever heard of Bleem? Bleem is the really interesting example. And currently, as it stands, the only example in US legal history of an emulator in that regard. Yeah, you had Bleem. Sony sued Bleem. Bleem was the commercially... Hydra, damn, you're pretty far. Bleem was the commercially sold PS1 emulator that would work on Dreamcast and PC. You could play PS1 games on Dreamcast with it. Cool idea. And was sold. It was commercially sold in stores. Sony sued for that, and Bleem won that case. Which I think is one of the most interesting things in any of the legal history of this kind of idea. There we go. Nice. And Drachma finished the other one off. Thank you, Fina. And Drachma finished the other one off. There we go. If you don't know the history of Bleem, I recommend checking it out because it's a weird, fascinating piece of gaming history that generally has been forgotten. And so few people remember Bleem was ever a thing. But it was determined to be totally legal. And there's never been another ruling on that kind of case. Bleem is interesting. Yeah, there's never been another ruling on that kind of case. And so, currently as it stands within US law, emulators are basically legal. ROMs sit within a grey area, but emulators are basically legal. To be fair, the names of a lot of emulators are kind of weird. Dolphin makes sense because the name comes from the prototype name for the GameCube. Project 64 is fairly reasonable, the project to emulate the Nintendo 64. But a bunch of them are really weird. Kega Fusion for the Mega Drive. Even ones that sound a little more reasonable, you kind of ask where part of the names came from. Like SNES 9X. What's the 9X about?
Fire consume my enemies!
Yeah.
Slam to burst!
Citra's weird. Seamew is kind of weird in its name. PPSSPP is interesting as a name. I imagine EPSXE could be a case of PSX emulator in some regard. Like one of those E's probably means emulator. Demule for freaking what is it? DS. There's a bunch of them. E for emulator, possibly. Okay, so we're here. I've completely lost track of where we're going. Oh yeah, no, you're right, Dreamcast. That's the thing, the Dreamcast emulators I know are Raycast and Flycast. Vaguely aware of Demule, but I don't do Dreamcast emulation because I have a Dreamcast. Because it's just simpler to own one and it produces a nice enough visual quality. Desmune, various stuff. Yeah, I've heard stuff about Duck Station. I don't run Resident Evil 2 as much as I used to, but the main reason for Dreamcast is just that it looks the best. I mean, that's the thing, if I had the choice, I'd still take, Dreamcast RE2 over Seamless HD. I think it looks better. I'm not into a bunch of the artistic decisions of Seamless HD. Yeah, I've been hearing stuff about Duck Station recently. But the only PlayStation emulators I use, I have the PlayStation Mini, which runs PCSX Rearmed, and my retro emulation handheld that I have runs PSX 4 All, which I've never heard of elsewhere. It's not even the artificial, like stuff like menu and text, a bunch of that stuff that's just different, and I'm not overly fond of the differences, like the new pictures and stuff that haven't been upscaled, they've been replaced, and like it just feels off to me in that regard. It's nitpicking more than anything else. Yeah. Well, the point of this entire charade that we've been going on is it's better for us as gamers if emulators exist, and Nintendo should stop treating emulators as a bug to be squashed and more competition. It's really a case of, like, they should look to outdo emulators. It's a case of, like, Gabe Newell once said about piracy. Like, piracy is a case of you failing to make your product available to somebody in a convenient and well-priced manner, and that's why they'll pirate. It's not the case with everybody, but it is the case with a bunch of people. Why would people pirate Skies of Arcadia? Why did people pirate Earthbound? Why did people pirate Mother 3? Why did people pirate Seiken Densetsu 3 for years? Because it wasn't available to them. And so that really becomes the point I'm making. I think Nintendo should look at people going for emulators that aren't actually on Nintendo systems, that Nintendo don't get money for. I think they should look at that as a failure of service, in the same way, like Gabe Newell said, a failure of service of piracy. It's not as clear-cut as that, it never will be, but I think it's a better idea for Nintendo. There it is. When it comes down to it, consider Nintendo's emulation, like the Virtual Console, the Switch Online, whatever, you should be considering that as like the genuine product. And fan-made emulators should essentially be the cheap knockoffs, the fakes. But in almost no other industry would you find the cheap knockoffs or fakes or whatever to provide better quality than the official product. The only other thing I can think of that's like that is Transformers toys. Don't buy them from Hasbro, buy the Chinese knockoffs because they're actually way better. It's fucking weird, but it's true. Look into it. Ah shit, somebody died. No, somebody is weakened. Shit. Dina is almost dead. Sakura. Yeah, that's basically my point. If Nintendo put effort into it, they could provide a far better service than what they do. There's the interesting case to be made with the Wii U. A lot of people weren't interested in the Wii U. The Wii U was one of Nintendo's biggest failures. A lot wrong with it. And Wii U emulation was fascinating as a concept. Because who cared? And then Breath of the Wild came out. And Breath of the Wild, I think, was fascinating because people were interested. I'm glad you are, Steiner. The kind of thing I aim to do, make interesting conversation. As I also try and focus on the game and not get myself killed. Nobody cared about Wii U. Nobody cared enough to do emulation for Wii U. Which I think says something about the interest in the Wii U to begin with. Nobody was interested in emulating it. And then Breath of the Wild came out, and people were interested in Breath of the Wild. And then the Wii U emulator, Steam jumped made leaps and bounds of progress in the space of a week. It went from being worthless to it could play Breath of the Wild in the space of a week. I think that's an interesting case.
We did it!
And you end up with the concern of, like, legality of that. But, like, if these people are going out and buying a copy of Breath of the Wild at launch, can you argue they're morally in the wrong? Again, legally, not asking. Morally, are they morally in the wrong? Because if your answer at any point is yes, then you have no leg to stand on when it comes to any kind of emulator. Or your own use of it. If you're going to turn around and say they should have owned a Wii U even before emulating, then that becomes a case of, oh, you're going to emulate NES? You should own an NES. You're going to emulate Super Nintendo? You should own your own Super Nintendo. You're going to emulate anything. You should own that system, and then also own the games that you are intending to emulate.
Fire consume my enemies! Slam to burst!
I feel like I keep losing my train of thought in this conversation, and I'm trying to hold it together.
Over
I
there.
hope I found every treasure so far. I think we've gone every path. GameCube is awesome. That's not relevant, I just wanted to say GameCube is fantastic. It's my dream to one day have a handheld GameCube.
Yeah!
That's all I really want. They exist, Ninja. People are doing it with Wii's now. There were people doing it with GameCubes. People have upgraded to just doing it with Wii's. Because Wii's are way more accessible and also have more versatility. They'll play GameCube entirely fine because the Wii was fully backwards compatible. But it also has virtual console support. It has support for Wii games, which you could play. A bunch of them support classic controller support or GameCube. And then the Wii was also a pretty solid emulation system. So a lot of people are doing it with Wii's now. I have one word for you, Ninja, and that is Vita. But beyond that, like, the issue with that idea is the goalposts keep moving. I mean, we had console-level graphics on a handheld. It was called the Game Boy Advance. That was Super Nintendo-level graphics. It was better than Super Nintendo-level graphics on a handheld. The PSP came out, and the PSP's graphics were phenomenal. I remember looking back on the PSP, and the PSP was one of the first handhelds that amazed me graphically. It was like the PSP was visually better than the PlayStation. See, I disagree with that. Game Boy was essentially a stripped-down NES. I would disagree that it is comparable, truly. Was it better than a handheld NES? I'd say... You know what? I can understand where you're coming from with that, Sona. Hold on, I will get to that. Let me set this fight code.
Over there.
Because the Game Boy Color was basically slightly more powerful than the Game Boy, but I don't think it was ever up to the standards of NES. Yeah, no, I'm talking Game Boy Color. A slightly more powerful Game Boy, but I don't think it was ever up to the standards of the NES. I think there's one case in which the Game Boy Color outshined the NES, and that was in its colour palette. It had a much richer colour palette, and that was it. You know what, see, I'm going to assume that you know more than me on this subject. And if you got stuff you want to put forward with it, I'd be interested in seeing it.
Is it over already?
Sina, I would disagree the PSP is the greatest handheld ever, but it is a standout contender. And it gets even better if you hack it. PSP was a fantastic handheld emulation system. The DS, I would argue, was probably better than the PSP. Especially since we talk as its own system, we have to take into account backwards compatibility. And so I would count PS1 backwards compatibility as a key factor in PSP's the selling point of the PSP. Playing PS1 games on it, definitely count that. I would also count being able to play DS games, not DS, Game Boy Advance games, as part of the selling point of the DS. And at that point, you kind of really have to ask, which one is better? And it kind of depends. You know what? I've shot my own argument in the foot there. Because if we're going to argue, yeah, no, the PSP, we have to argue that the DS can play Game Boy Advance and the PSP can play PS1. That's immediately it. Because the minute you add the PS1 library to anything, it jumps so much higher in quality. And I've shot my own argument in the foot. No? Pretty much, yeah. Ah, shit. Game over. What do you mean you defeat me? If anything, I defeated myself with the sword that Signer gave me. I can't do a fucking Shao Kahn voice. Fatality. Fatality. I can't do a Shao Kahn. You have to settle for that. Don't lie to me, Ninja. Fatality. He's not the first dude with pink hair we've seen. The village elder didn't have hair, but he had eyebrows, and his eyebrows were pink. I had trouble getting my voice particularly high at this point. Toasty! Toasty! There you go. That's probably about as good as it's gonna get. Alright, fair enough, Teak. See, you've gone with the kind of idea I went with when I said the GBA is actually more powerful than the Super Nintendo. And you're not wrong, like, you put that out. Fair enough. Alright, let's get out of here. I feel like I've missed chests. And I haven't got a moonfish yet. Where's the moonfish? Ah, shit. I like the Game Boy Color's colour palette. We're gonna have to come back through this dungeon. And I think I'm missing a champ. No, I'm not. I got both champs. But no, it's a fair point, Seek. You are right, and you've put out evidence to back it up. Good work. There we go. Alright. I don't know, the DS, I wouldn't say the DS was comparable to the N64. I think the DS was weaker than the 64, hardware-wise. I think it was a deliberate decision by Nintendo. The hard point of arguing with that was Super Mario 64 DS, which looked better than Super Mario 64, but that's a case of texture work. It's not that the game is graphically superior. It had a better visual design.
Good.
And of course, the 3DS isn't visually capable as the GameCube was. Yeah. But as far as greatest handheld ever goes, if you're going to argue PSP, you can one-up that and say Vita. Everything the PSP can do, and Vita games. And if you're going to turn around and tell me that being able to play something like Sly Cooper, or Persona 4, or Metal Gear Solid 2 on a handheld doesn't qualify it for the greatest handheld system ever, then we're going to have to disagree. And then I'm going to go and play Metal Gear Solid 2 on my handheld.
Dispose of them.
I really haven't been paying attention to this game for like the past half hour. Antonio 2, a second War Beast. Rock and roll. Yellow, so we do silver. Isn't what good? Ninja. The Wii U, I prefer the Wii U as a handheld idea better than I like the Switch. Chat is the best part of the stream, it really is. And I always appreciate chat that can get me discussing stuff. I think the Wii U gamepad, and I've said this before, and I will always say this, the Wii U gamepad is more comfortable to hold than the Switch in undocked mode, in handheld mode.
Here goes! Over there!
Honestly, I wish the Switch had built on the Wii U. In the same way that the Wii built on the GameCube and the Wii U built on the Wii. Undocked is really uncomfortable. See, I'm the opposite, but I have played a bunch of Wii U on handheld. I've played more Wii U on handheld than I have on Switch. Yes. I had to think then, because like the times I took the Switch to work, and quite often I just like play it for a little bit and then put it down because it's not comfortable, and then just pull out my backup handheld, which was probably the Game Boy Advance SP, which is a backup because it fits in my pocket. It's like, yeah, no. Okay, well, guess I'm playing Metroid Fusion for the whatever number time. I love Metroid Fusion. I'll die on that hill. I love Skies of Arcadia, it's so
Give
good.
us your blessing.
I could do with everybody spreading out a little more. But yeah, the Switch I don't think is all that comfortable in handheld. There's also very much the case of the screen being a HD screen. I feel like a lot of stuff isn't designed for it because it becomes a lot harder to see. You've got a 720p screen that is like 7 inches across. And so everything gets super hard to see. I find Diablo 3 to be basically unplayable on Switch, on handheld mode. Which is a shame, because Diablo 3 is a game that would work so well in handheld. Well, that's the thing, like I've said before, it would have been really cool, Sakura's. It would have been really cool if Nintendo had backwards compatibility for the Wii U on Switch. I understand where the limitations would be with that, but if there was some kind of option.
Let's try this.
I mean, let's be fair, Nintendo kind of realised that idea themselves. If you ever watched the Super Mario Maker 2 demonstration they did at one point, they had a Switch hooked up to a dock that was designed so they could still access the touchscreen. Because Super Mario Maker is a game designed for a touchscreen. But yeah, no, Nintendo's just going to keep porting games to Switch, doing very little to them, and charging full price for them, because people will pay. Yeah, I really wish Nintendo would have expanded on the Wii U with the Switch, rather than basically setting a whole new standard. Partly because it would have been really cool to hack the Switch and just add GameCube support to it. I said back when the Switch was first hacked, one of the things I remember seeing for it was someone put Linux on it, and then had Dolphin running. Which was fucking crazy to me. But I said back when that happened, like, if hacking it gets full GameCube support, then I'll hack my Switch. I don't care. Actual handheld GameCube? Yes.
Here goes.
Fucking die on that hill. Plus the Joy-Cons are just uncomfortable, and I hate using them. I tried looking into that at one point. It's like, I realised the Joy-Cons are my biggest problem with playing the Switch in handheld.
No!
Yes, this way. Idiot. I realised the Joy-Cons were my biggest problem with playing the Switch in handheld. So I looked up if there were third-party Joy-Cons you could get that would be more comfortable. And there really isn't.
Ooh.
Oh well. I'm disappointed that Antonio 2's disappeared. Because you're a moron. If I wasn't the good guy, I'd stab you right now. Hey, send time. I feel like I haven't gotten all the chests. But yeah, no, I would totally hack the Switch if it meant GameCube support. I'd be on board with that. I'd buy a second Switch to do it. I'm gonna fucking lie. Oh hell, you get it doable on the Switch Lite? I'll buy a Switch Lite. Just for that. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. But unfortunately, it's not there yet. Maybe in another 5-10 years. Okay. Alright, and we should be back at the start now. Alright, let's go get that moonfish. Which was around there. Looking at the list of all the treasure chests, I feel like we've got them all. Really, you think the Melee community would bother with it? Because I'd imagine the Melee community wouldn't touch emulation. Especially since they're always going on about, like, the pure experience and playing with a GameCube controller specifically. Because I'd have thought they'd demand, like, GameCube only. GameCube controller only.
Over there.
Yeah, you know what? Die.
We won! We won!
But yeah, Melee would be one of the... Melee would not be in the first 20 games I'd consider if I was able to play GameCube games handheld. Ah, yeah, no, you are right. Another example of Nintendo saying do it our way or don't do it at all. But yeah, no, don't play these games with a mod to make things easier because, you know, global pandemic means you can't meet in person. If you do, we'll sue you. Okay, thanks Nintendo. What's the alternative then? Play Smash Ultimate Online? No, because the online is absolute shit. And you should be embarrassed that a fan-made mod provides better online than you do. But Nintendo's not embarrassed, they don't give a fuck.
Fire consume my...
The Nintendo situation is so irritating. Company sat on the single biggest pile of respectable properties, and all they want to do is just fuck the consumer base. Tragic. And all the consumer base wants to do is bend over and let them. They're probably more tragic, actually.
Fire consume my...
brings up an interesting point if we consider Nintendo, people's reaction to Nintendo versus people's reaction to Microsoft. Imagine if instead of Microsoft turning around saying they were raising the price of Xbox Live Gold, it was Nintendo turning around saying they were raising the price of Switch Online, and they were basically doubling it for the year. And so it's not $20 a year anymore, it's $40. And even if there had been an outcry, is it that side or is it that side? Even if there had been an outcry, it would have been less than it would have been from Microsoft. Not that way. Would have been less than it had been for Microsoft, and Nintendo wouldn't have cared anyway. We're Nintendo, you'll be grateful that we sell you our products. Okay, and that should end it. You'd think Nintendo would be more humble with how many times they've fucked up. Like, you'd think Nintendo would be a little more like Sega in a bunch of that regard. Like, in a bunch of that thought. Which way's the way forward then? Right, there we go. Like, Sega ended up having to withdraw from the console industry because they fucked up the sound. You can say what you want about the Dreamcast, but ultimately the death of the Dreamcast can be traced back to the failure of the Saturn. It's one of the craziest things. And Sega's had the problem since. But they're mostly mellow these days about a lot of stuff like that.
That was easy.
Meanwhile, Nintendo's failures, way more numerous, all pretty much down to arrogance. You could argue the GameCube and the Nintendo 64 failed for largely the same reason. Nintendo were stubborn and arrogant and believed that everybody would go for them. PlayStation? Who cares about PlayStation? This new brand. Nobody's gonna care. Except everybody cared. I'm not gonna disagree with that. But I'd argue Nintendo's failures have been way more numerous as far as consoles go. Sega's biggest failing was just the Saturn. Sega just had the one big failure. It's an interesting way of putting it, see. Not living up to the full potential. It's definitely an interesting way of putting it. Not that one, this one. Oh no, the 32X was a failure. The Sega CD was arguably a failure. But the Saturn was the failure. So many reasons, and the Saturn's overwhelming failure, you could argue, was a big contributor to the Dreamcast's failure. That and the fact that for some fucking reason they put out Shenmue. You can like Shenmue all you want, but it cost way too much to make. Although I'll assume that's what you meant by development cost that went nowhere. There weren't enough Dreamcasts in circulation to make up for Shenmue's cost. Well, it is interesting to consider Nintendo's failures.
Serves 'em right.
The arrogance that began with the NES era, with stuff like them pushing the exclusive publishing on third parties, where they could only publish games on Nintendo consoles, which is why the Master System doesn't really have much. The Master System's got some decent enough games for it. Most of the ones you'd recognise are Sega. There's no Capcom classics, no Konami classics. Because if you were developing for Nintendo, you were only developing for Nintendo. And then the Mega Drive came out and it hit bigger than anybody really expected. And publishers were able to argue better rights for it. One of the fastest selling that didn't continue selling. Yeah, the 64 outsold the GameCube, but it also massively undersold the PlayStation. And of course, third parties didn't care. There we go. Expanded in the market. Expanded the market to begin with. Fair point. But you could also argue Nintendo's arrogance in that part also cost them publishers. The Square fiasco, and Konami and Capcom didn't really touch the Nintendo 64. Certainly not to the degree they touched the PlayStation.
Over there.
Which, when you think about it, is kind of surprising that they all decided to go for this new, untested ground. I mean, you could argue Konami didn't as much as Capcom did, because, like, if you go back in the records, and Konami intended like the next big Castlevania game to be Castlevania 64. Symphony of the Night was the side project. Didn't make all the money. It's an interesting way of looking at it, Teak, and I can't really say you're wrong.
We did it!
I hope we've got everything out of here. I really should have been keeping track of the number of chests. Yeah, the GameCube. Much as I love it, it was one of Nintendo's worst selling consoles. I think the Wii U is the only console that sold worse. Like, Nintendo was the only console that sold worse than the GameCube. Which is a shame, because the GameCube's better than the N64.
Serves 'em right.
Better third-party support, better games. In so many respects. He actually had RPGs. Not many, but it had them.
Yeah.
Come on. Nice. I don't know.
Is it over already?
I guess ultimately my point is you'd kind of hope Nintendo as a company would be less arrogant, considering how that arrogance has repeatedly bitten them in the arse in the past. But no. And of course, at this point, it doesn't really matter. The Switch is the single best-selling console. Everybody was clamoring for PS5s last year,
Over there.
and the Switch still outsold it. I saw a report that in the UK, I think for 20 months running, the Switch is the best-selling console in the UK. It's like, goddamn. It's interesting that they've managed to combine the casual appeal of the Wii, though, with actual games. Because that was the problem with the Wii and why the Wii success didn't hold on for a huge amount of time. Like, the Wii sold a lot. And it sold a lot very quickly.
Is it over already?
And then as time went forward, the numbers kind of just kept dropping. Nintendo don't sell themselves on kid-friendly anymore, and they haven't for years. You know, I just... Yep. Yeah. The casual appeal of the Wii, but with actual games. Like I said, that was a big part of the problem the Wii had. When it came down to it, it was a casual toy. There were games for it, but the games you actually wanted to play came out way later. Super Mario Galaxy came out, like, what, a year into the lifespan? Metroid Prime 3 came out later. No More Heroes might have been like the first game actually targeting gamers for it, fuck. And when it came down to it, the motion controls were just off-putting. That might be a store thing, rather than Nintendo themselves. I mean, back when there wasn't a rating system to guard that kind of thing, Nintendo were like, yeah, no, you can buy your kids a Super Nintendo and know that everything you get for the Super Nintendo will be suitable for them. Meanwhile, it's like, buy your kids a Mega Drive, and you might end up with some weird shit that isn't going to be good for your kids. You might end up with Splatterhouse 2. don't want to give your kids that, because it'd be fucking radical. I think after that, I'd say starting with either the GameCube or partway into the Nintendo 64's lifespan, they started to be more like, yeah, no, just video games. We have the IPs. You like Zelda? We've got Zelda. Nobody else does. You like Mario? We have Mario. Nobody else does.
That was easy.
You go with somebody else, you're not going to get that. What are you going to go with? Sonic? You fucking moron. I feel like that was Nintendo's whole position from that point onwards. I mean, hell, the GameCube early on made a pretty serious push to be like, yeah, no, we're not specifically about child friendly. Look at all these cool adult mature games we have. But hey, check out Eternal Darkness, which we published. Check out Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, which we co-published. Check out Resident Evil. We have exclusive rights to the series now. Resident Evil Remake exclusive to GameCube. I feel like from that point on they were more willing to appeal to a broader audience. Yeah, their IPs, once they built up the IPs, yeah, no, it was a solid business idea to just say, yeah, these IPs only here. What do I want to do? I really fucking hope I got all the treasure chests. Yeah, Sega, like the Mega Drive was the biggest competition they ever got from Sega. And that died down pretty quickly. Mega Drive put out some good stuff, but past the first 2 years or so, it didn't really compete as hard. So they could turn around and say, yeah, who cares about adult stuff, check out the child-friendly stuff. And then PlayStation comes along and is like, hey, Resident Evil. Hey, Final Fantasy VII. Hey, Metal Gear Solid. Hey, Tomb Raider. Gaming's not just for kids now. I mean, it never was, but, you know, that was always the advertising push.
That wasn't so bad.
That is certainly a point worth looking at, too. They did literally have to sell the NES as a toy to get it in stores. Oh, they did in the US at least. Not in the UK. The UK didn't really have that crash. But then in the UK, the NES didn't do super well. The UK was kind of more Sega for a while. In the PAL territory, Sega was bigger than Nintendo for a good while. Certainly with the Master System versus the NES. Yeah, the UK didn't really experience the video game crash of '83. It was more a case of home computers. Microcomputers were a bigger thing. The BBC Micro, the ZX Spectrum, the ColecoVision. No, the Commodore 64. The Amiga.
That wasn't so bad.
So the video game crash didn't really happen over it. It was just a case of microcomputers. I should probably go and get a rest at the village. It's an interesting case. To consider the way stuff like that, what seems like a huge event, like the video game crash of '83, the way it really only affected the US. Of course, you can argue that's a case of US-centric coverage in so many ways, which is true of a lot of things, not just gaming. There you go, the Golden Man. You don't see Vice's angry face that often. Hey, thank you for the... Is it 500? This is 500. Thank you for the 500 bits, Lena. Really appreciate that. Super cool of you. Penitent man shot pass. Yeah, I always really appreciate the support, you know. Super cool of you. Alright, before we look for the stuff we need to find, I want to head back to the inn. Which is kind of awkward because the inn is in the Elder's house, so go through all of Arcadia. Yeah, there's interesting stuff in that regard. Yeah, let's see Senton. Interesting stuff in the regards of stuff like the video game crash. Because the NES never had to be sold as a toy over here. There's also the case of, like, we were just treated differently to the US to begin with. I think the biggest visual example of that is the Super Nintendo. How we got the Super Famicom style, and not the honestly hideous American design. This sounds pretty cool, Hans. What up, Sentai? Does that increase the quick? It does. Let me see. If I replace the turbo kit, is it better than the turbo kit? It is. Nice. Alright, I want to hit the inn, and then search for Rixus. Yeah. Yeah, I look at the US Super Nintendo and I think, you know, I'm glad we got the Super Famicom style. Honestly, it's not even the design of the console itself that bothers me. It's the controller. And I don't get why they decided to change it from the 4 colours to 2 shades of purple for the buttons. It looks way less appealing. Yeah, no, this way. I think it's interesting that the village has 2 save points. Hmm. Alright, let's take the shortcut back. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the lost city of Rixus and we're going to call it there. And I guess pray that we got all the treasures in Moonstone Mountain. And starting from this point, I need to start counting the number of chests that I find. I know I've got all the chests before Moonstone Mountain. If we start counting all the chests after Moonstone Mountain, if when we're done with the final dungeon and then leave, we don't qualify for Vice Legend, we'll know exactly what we're missing. It'll be something in Moonstone Mountain. Okay, so we need to find the Great Bird and the Kneeling Golden Man, which are somewhere on this continent. There's the iron gate that Valua has put up. I think there's something to talk about with it. The iron net. Prevent people from going through the North Ocean. Oh hey, there's the bird. Oh hey, there's a fight. Well, they look like they need some fire. They don't, they need green, they need light. They need life. Alright, that gives us one target for everybody to focus on.
We did it!
It's weird that Drachma's got a weapon that has a chance of just killing an enemy. Let me get a look at that description. Spinning blade can kill instantly, yeah. The Great Bird. The wings and tail of the Great Bird are said to indicate the equinoxes of the ancient Ixa'taka and Verdilunar calendar. Figures of other animals once dotted the plain but have been swallowed by the expanding forest, leaving only the bird. Alright, that's one. Alright, so now we need to find the Kneeling Golden Man. And together they should open the way to Rixus.
Over there!
How's everybody doing? You guys doing okay?
Yeah!
God damn. time is it? Almost midnight.
That was easy.
Yeah, what gacha game are you playing, Sana? I use DS for Windows. Princess Connect Redive. You know, I don't think I've actually heard of that one. Not overly surprising, I don't keep up with gacha games.
That was easy.
You probably know my opinion of free-to-play games at this point. I don't trust them. But beyond that, I just have trouble actually getting focused on mobile games. Collect all the waifus. But I have games that will let me do that on other systems already. Maybe one day I'll do a playthrough of Persona 5 where I collect all the waifus and then they all realise that I've collected all the waifus on Christmas Day and they all confront me together and it's horrifying.
Fire consume my enemies! Flamberburst!
That's fair enough. I can appreciate that idea.
That was easy.
Okay, Golden Man, Golden Man. Yay, Sakura. Not there. Not there. There's Ixa'taka. I've gone too far. I feel like it's on this side of the split. Ixa'taka said it was north of Ixa'taka. There we go. The Golden Man. A golden statue that stands quietly, as if pointing something out. It is thought to have been placed here to protect the sacred land. Male statues are often found in temples and other buildings, while female statues are found near holy lakes and trees. Yeah, I just had to remember that Ixa'taka told us about it earlier, like north of Ixa'taka. Search around this area. Well, at least you got it. Oh, you were talking about DS for Windows and not the Golden Man. Alright, so the Golden Man is literally pointing. Over there. Princess. Gates of Rixus. A huge stone face that stands quietly, buried deep in the forests of Ixa'taka. The stones have been fitted so tightly together that not even an insect could crawl between them. It is a remnant of an ancient civilization. Since it's visible on the map, it's visible on the overworld, you can come here earlier, which is exactly why you need the 2 jewels. I mean, that was pretty obvious if you didn't figure that out. You need the 2 jewels to open the gates of Rixus. Like when we went to the Temple of Pirin and Draken was like, yeah, no, let's go to Maramba first. I've got stuff to do there. And then he leaves you to set up the scenario for the whole thing. Okay, is there any other info that we can get? No. But there was a couple of things. These 2, which I don't know what they are. That's got to be in the South Ocean. This. Any island that people seem to avoid, like, that doesn't help. Because nobody goes near any islands. Alright, let's go and head to Rixus, and then we'll call it. Be a good place to start next time. And the good news is Fina has Rizzlin.
Right.
I'd like more than one person to have Rizzlin, especially one person who isn't Fina. Because Rizzlin's like, yeah, no, it's the guaranteed revival spell. Cool. Who goes down most often, Fina? She's the squishiest of squishy wizards. So I would like someone other than Fina to have Rizzlin as well. But that is that. We will leave Rixus for next week. We haven't made a huge amount of progress. I feel like this is coasting along at a very casual pace, which I'm okay with. We'll go in there next week. It's a good place to look at while we end the stream. The real progress is the friends we made along the way. I think one of the clips that I have, one of the older clips, is literally that joke applied to this game. But it comes from a later point in the game, so I don't really want to spoil it. So let's check what is going on. I don't think we're going to raid anybody. But I will give a shout out to Magic, who is a cool dude, who is currently playing through the latest patch on Final Fantasy XIV. Cool dude. I appreciate it being here, Ninja. It's cool that you weren't here from the start. But people have things to do. Yeah, I expect everybody to be here the minute I go. Just appreciate you were here at all. But yeah, with that, I want to thank everybody for watching. I always really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in the chat. Sina, Teak, Lino, Ninja, Core. Who else? Queen Nicole, she was here. Yeah, I think that is everybody. Everybody who's in the chat. Yes. So yeah, thank you so much for joining the stream and keeping me company. Chat is always the best part of the stream. We're back tomorrow, 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time GMT with Final Fantasy VII, which I'm doing with Klim. Klim will be on mic with me while we do that. We are just about to enter Nibelheim and go into the Shinra Mansion. So tomorrow we'll probably be recruiting Vincent and Sid. So if you want to get your names on either of those characters, tomorrow is the time to show up, because we're naming the characters after people in the chat. But that is... those are the last two characters. I hope to have Rocket Town done tomorrow, and at least be up to Wu-Tai. Monday, I'll be playing Resident Evil 5 co-op with Klim. We're going to be finishing the game on Monday. We're close enough to the end that we'll finish it. And then we'll probably start doing the DLC. Lost in Nightmares and Desperate Escape. Tuesday, I'll be back. Monday, Resident Evil 5 will be 9 PM GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Tuesday, 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time GMT, we'll be doing more Final Fantasy 13. That'll also be the same on Thursday. Skies of Arcadia will be back on Saturday, 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time GMT. That is 3 PM Eastern Standard. If you're in America, you can work it off that, 3 PM Eastern Standard. Yeah. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I always really appreciate the support. Let me throw some shout-outs. Magic is currently live, if you want to check him out, he's a cool dude. There is Teak, who's a cool dude, worth checking out. Lino is a cool dude, always very supportive. Lino only started streaming pretty recently, but he's doing pretty well with it. I recommend checking him out and throwing him some support. He's a cool, very cool dude. And let me throw a shout out for Ninja. Ninja's a cool dude. One day he'll stream again. And probably the most relevant shout out, Chanson, who is currently working through his own playthrough of Skies of Arcadia Legends. He is doing it for the first time. He's never played this game before. So check him out. Chanson is really cool. This is my stream, Liam. I can say what I want. If I want to say you're a cool dude, I'm gonna say you're a cool dude. Can't stop me. Anyway. I'm not saying expectations high for you, Ninja. I'm just saying you'll stream again one day. Oh, just not a high expectation. When are you doing Max Payne, Ninja? I want to do Max Payne. I've been wanting to do Max Payne for ages. I think I'll do something one day. One day we'll wake up and Ninja will be streaming again. Fuck this, man. But yeah, that is going to do it for today. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I always really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in the chat. Chat is always the best part of the streams. I could be playing games on my own whenever. Chat is what makes it special for me. We always have some fun times with chat. And it really is the best part of the stream. It's the part I enjoy most about streaming. Interacting with you guys. Yeah, more Skies of Arcadia next week, 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time GMT, 3 PM Eastern Standard Time. If you're in America, you can work off that. Also, a little bit of news. I've been thinking about after Final Fantasy 13 is finished, what I want to do afterwards. It was originally going to be the Legend of Dragoon, but I want to try and mix it up and do a non-turn-based JRPG. Or basically just not do a JRPG. Since we came from Digital Devil Saga 2 to Final Fantasy 13, we're also doing Skies of Arcadia Legends and Final Fantasy 7 on top, so a lot of JRPGs. So I wanted to do something different, and I was thinking of a different kind of RPG. And I've narrowed that idea down to either Code Vein or East Origin. I'm gonna do one of the two. Rest assured, both of them are supposed to be difficult games, so you will probably see some deaths. Whichever we do, we'll probably have a death counter on for it. So, look forward to that. Both should be fun. Either one of them should be fun. Look forward to that. It is going to be either Code Vein or East Origin. I'm undecided. But yeah, so I hope people look forward to that. Right, that's the update on what's coming after Final Fantasy 13. I'll probably say that again on Tuesday, when it's more relevant now. But yeah, that is gonna do it. And with that, I want to thank everybody for watching. Like I say, Magic's live now if you want to check him out. He's playing Final Fantasy 14. Super cool dude, Magic. He's always pretty supportive. And anything else? No, not really. Nobody else to recommend. Every time I look at my follow list, I realise I follow too many people who only play Resident Evil. There's nothing wrong with it. But I really do need to check out more people who play games that aren't Resident Evil. It is a curse, it really is. But checking out Resident Evil also led me to some of my favourite streamers. It's how I found Teak, it's how I found Ali. Without looking for Resident Evil and finding Ali, we wouldn't have Clem. So it's led to some really good stuff. Yeah. But anyway, that is going to do it for today. There's only 4 people that play Resident Evil. And now I don't really play Resident Evil that much anymore. So, yeah. That's how you find people. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Yep, followed because of Resident Evil, because of Resident Evil, because of Resident Evil, because of Resident Evil, because of Resident Evil. Magic I started following because of Legacy of Kain. Yeah. I was searching for Soul Reaver one day, and Magic was playing Soul Reaver. And he was a cool dude. And after I started following Magic, he was a cool dude. Interestingly enough, like, the people who followed me, without knowing me through somebody else's stream, it really amounts to, I think, 3 people who followed me and then regularly came back. And none of those are because of Resident Evil. Professor Snape started following me because I played Alondra, and he kept coming back after that. Chansum started following me because I was playing Digital Devil Saga, and he kept coming back after that. And Lino followed me because I was playing Ocarina of Time, and then Lino kept coming back. Like, the regulars I've had who found me through searching for the game I was playing, none of it was Resident Evil. I think that's pretty nice. But I'm rambling at this point. So, we're going to call it. I want to thank everybody for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and take care. We'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.